What's going on, Colts Nation? Appreciate you joining me for another video where we're going to talk about DeForest Buckner. The defensive tackle market has exploded over the past year, and DeForest Buckner's weighing in right with the latest signing of Derek Brown to the Panthers. Signed his extension, which was $24 million a year. I believe it was 4 years, $96 million for Derek Brown over there in Carolina. And DeForest Buckner, as we've talked about plenty of times, he's going to be the next guy up, right? The Colts paying all their people. DeForest Buckner would be the next one. And DeForest Buckner, soon after Derek Brown signed his extension yesterday, went on Twitter, said, DT market crazy. Y'all better start teaching your kids to put your hand in the dirt. And he's right. Like they're getting paid huge money now. Obviously, Aaron Donald was at like 31.2 million or something crazy, but he's Aaron Donald. Right, like, he was way above everybody else. Nobody was even close. And now with him retired, if you look at some of the defensive tackle contracts that have been signed over the past year, you have Chris Jones, which was this offseason, 5 years, $158.75 million. Christian Wilkins, also this year, 4 years, $110 million. Justin Matabuke, this offseason, 4 years, $98 million. Quentin Williams was last year at 4 years, 96 million. Derek Brown, 4 years, 96 million. Jeffrey Simmons, 4 years, 94 million. Deron Payne, 4 years, 90 million. Dexter Lawrence, 4 years, 90 million. Leonard Williams, 3 years, 64.5 million. And Javon Hargrave at 4 years, $84 million. So when you look at it, DeForest Buckner already in 2024, his base salary is 20.25 million. When he signed his contract with the Colts, it was 4 years, $84 million with $44 million in guaranteed money. So he's already making a lot of money. So what you're really looking at, if you're looking to extend him, right? Of course, as time goes on, all these positions are getting paid more. With the contracts that we've seen, he's going to want huge money like that, especially with what he's been able to do. It's not like there's really been any fall off. If anything, he just continues to get better as he gets older and he continues to learn more, especially being in this system, in this Gus Bradley system, going on his third season. Like, he's going to perform this year. We expect him to continue to be DeForest Buckner, and you would expect that he's going to want to get the bag. And I feel like I'm in the boat, same boat as a lot of different Colts fans and a lot of different Colts media, where it just makes sense, right? If DeForest Buckner, even at the age of what, 31, 32, something like that, he's north of 30, and even for him being at his age, because of the production that he brings and what he's able to bring to the table on the field, he's going to be worth what these other guys are getting paid. Now, he might not sign a 4 year deal, right? It might only be 2 years, $50 million, but that's the kind of deal we're looking at DeForest Buckner getting. Now, it's not going to be a massive raise. So when you talk about the cap hit, yeah, it'll be a big chunk of the cap, but in terms of taking up more of the cap, like, he's not going to take up that much more, right? And the cap just continues to increase, right? This past season went up, what, 13%, which was the largest increase that it's ever gone up. So, the salary cap going to continue to go. DeForest Buckner, his cap number is gonna go up, seemingly, but you would expect that at some point the Colts are going to come through and give him the contract he wants. Right now, it'll be interesting to see what the Colts do in the draft. I think what they do in the draft could end up having an impact on that. Not to say that it definitely would. I think there's a good chance that the Colts end up getting a defensive tackle at some point, whether it's in the second round or third round, right? If they can snag Braden Fisk at some point and it still be a good value, I would assume that's something that the Colts would consider. And then if they were able to do that, right, I think Braden Fisk is going to be incredible in the NFL. So assuming that he is, and assuming that the Colts draft somebody like that, then would that make DeForest Buckner somebody that they say, you know what, let's go ahead, let him go somewhere else. He can try to win somewhere else if that's what he wants to do at the age that he's at. We'll run with the young guys and figure it out from there. Use that cap money somewhere else. That's really going to be the discussion on DeForest Buckner, is somebody that old. And with what you want to build around Anthony Richardson, Does it make sense to pay DeForest Buckner that much? Or do you use that on a receiver at some point, right? Like if T. Higgins, wherever he ends up, if he plays with the Bengals on the franchise tag, or if he gets traded, um, if he gets, I guess if he gets traded, you probably assume he's signing a multi-year deal. So it's really just if he stays with the Bengals, right, and plays with the Bengals. And then you go into next offseason, do you consider not signing Buckner so that you can get a top flight receiver? Again, that kind of depends on what the Colts do in the draft. Are the Colts going to draft Brian Thomas Jr.? Are they going to get another receiver at some point in the draft, right? Trade down, get A.D. Mitchell or Xavier Worthy, right? One of these guys. Malachi Corley is a guy we've talked about. So there are a lot of options for the Colts, right? Again, going to be taking up a lot of cap money when you think about it, but he's not going to be taking up much more than he already has, which is where I think it makes sense for the Colts. Everything that he brings in the locker room, obviously been here a while, so everybody loves him in the locker room. Fans love him. He's one of the favorite people in terms of fans on the team. So DeForest Buckner, for me, again, 2 years, $50 million. I think that's a pretty good deal. 3 years, $72 million. Is $24 million a year. Be right there with a few other guys at $24 million a year. Maybe that's the popular number for the DTs, and maybe that's where DeForest Buckner ends up. Somebody we don't have to really worry about. He gets injuries and he plays through it. Right, he's that kind of guy. He plays most games throughout the season, so it'd be nice if we could keep DeForest Buckner. I assume that we're gonna find a way to make that happen. And kind of like you'll see other people talk about, I don't think it's really, are we going to do it? It's just a matter of when is it going to happen? Are they going to do it before the season and find a way to do it before the season? Or are they going to do it in season, right? Jonathan Taylor got his contract done in the middle of the season, right? Are they going to wait till after the season like they do with Michael Pittman Jr.? We'll see what the Colts decide to do, but I would assume that as long as Buckner, wants to be here, the Colts will pay him. And if the Colts are going to pay him enough money, then I'm sure he'll be just fine staying in Indies. But we'll see what happens. If there's any updates on this situation and anything happens, of course, I'll let you know. So make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you get notified when any other videos come out, news updates, whatever it is. I'll get it to you as soon as possible. Okay, but with that said, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.